Hi, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm chatting now with J.C. Emilkowski, who is the owner of PGH Studios, also Building Balance. We're going to talk a little bit today about resilience, but I'm excited to introduce you to PGH Studios. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Jess. I appreciate it.
So you just opened an Etsy shop, and let's talk a little bit about that.
I did. It is my second business, and I am so excited. I have another business that I own, and over the summer, I was working myself so hard at that business that I got a little overwhelmed and hit a bit of a crisis and started painting. And the paintings, I had more paintings than I did walls, so I'm like, what do I do with these? Oh, Etsy, come to my rescue, and opened an Etsy shop and just sell paintings as well now too.
That's so wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about that now, and what really caused you to start painting? How did that sort of grow into this?
It was more of a drive than a growth. So I made art like crazy when I was younger, when I was in high school, and for over 20 years, I haven't really touched it. My primary business, I am a professional speaker and trainer. That's my company, Building Balance. And about a year and a half into owning it, I was pushing myself so hard without realizing it that I was driving myself over the edge. I just went into an art store one day to buy $5 worth of oil pastels just to draw a picture, and an undisclosed amount of acrylic paint later. I came out with all these supplies, and I just felt driven every day, just make color, just put down color, and it felt so good. It was so soothing.
Wow. Sounds like an incredible release from what sort of happened to you with your other business. Yeah. Let's talk about that. What happened when you realized that painting was really creating this release for you?
So it was interesting how it all came together. I was getting more stressed out. I started painting and found this solace in it. And while I was painting, I realized that there was something genuinely wrong. Like there's struggle and there's challenge, and then there is complete overwhelm. So I went in to see a counselor and had some assessments done, and it turned out that I had driven myself into a full-on manifestation of PTSD and anxiety disorder.
Wow.
I grew up with domestic violence and trauma and experienced some trauma in my mid-20s, and I've been in counseling for a while, so I've always been working with this, but it was such a shock to me to get this diagnosis after all of my years of self-reflection and work. Hey, did you know you have PTSD? And I was like, no,
wow.
Thank you. But it was really striking to me. I was trying to help myself and soothe myself before I even got this diagnosis. Then it came, and all of a sudden I had a choice. I realized it didn't have to be that way, and I could build on what I was doing to make myself feel better and go in and get treatment for my PTSD and anxiety, which has changed my life.
And let's talk a little bit about the end result. I'm sure viewers at home we can all relate to times where we're overwhelmed, overworked, and sometimes putting too much pressure on ourselves. Mm-hmm. So what was the result for you?
The result for me was freedom and the ability to make more of what I want to see in the world. My primary job as a public speaker is because I have a core messaging that I want to get out, and I want to help people see they have choice. So ironic that I was lost when I couldn't see mine. It's just another story that I can share that choices aren't always easy to make, but you can't make them if you can't see them. I didn't know I didn't have to struggle. I didn't know I didn't have to feel physically sick with anxiety every day. I didn't even know I was feeling physically sick with anxiety because no one had ever said, hey, did you know what it feels like to be normal? I just hadn't experienced it. So when we're in the right place to hear feedback on why we're struggling and how, and make the choice to try anything different, it just opens up so much potential for us to live the lives we want.
That's really helpful. It seems like you're in a good place now, and I'd love to end our interview on one thing, if you could pick one that you'd like to say to the world, what would it be?
I want the world to know to keep asking for help. Keep asking. It's not always easy to find. Sometimes you ask for it and it's not there, or it's not where you think it will be. Please keep looking. I promise there are people in this world that want to help you. Whatever your struggle is and wherever you are, it may not have to be as challenging as it is.
Wow, that's a really sweet and powerful message. And thank you for sharing your story, because if you've helped even one person watching that can come out of a struggle or bounce back from a crisis, then it's been a success.
Yeah,
So,
it's okay to admit that you're in struggle and challenge, and when you're on the other side of it, you can help others too.
well, we appreciate your sharing that. This is J.C. Emilkowski with PGH Studios and Building Balance. We've got more interviews coming up for you here on Talk of the Town. Stick with us.